Hello everyone, it's Brownie again, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at the amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man is the latest in a series of Marvel films, following the Avengers and the X-Men and all that sort of thing. It's a reboot of what Sam Raimi did with his original trilogy. Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man, taking over for Tobey Maguire. He does a good job, you know, he's a bit old for the character, but so is Tobey Maguire at the time, you know, sort of standard adults playing teenagers sort of thing that the studios always do. Emma Stone, of course, playing Gwen Stacy, daughter of Captain Stacy and romantic interest of Spider-Man. We got Rhys Ifans as the Lizard. Rhys Ifans does a pretty good job. The Lizard, I must say, looks very good. It's largely CGI in the film, a bit of prosthetics. The CGI work there is really good. I like the character design and everything, so all that was great. Denis Leary, for me, is a real standout in this film. Top notch, always does a great job. It's fun to see him sort of playing a good guy for once, you know. He's sort of on the side of the law. And he's not really a smart ass, which is something I've never seen Denis Leary do, and I'm a big fan of Denis Leary. He's a top guy. I really like his work in this film. Didn't get as much as I wanted. That's the problem with this film. It's got a great cast. It's got, you know, Sally Field and Denis Leary and Martin Sheen, and you don't see as much of them as you want to, or you don't get as deep into their characters as you could, and that goes back to sort of Mark Webb's. He doesn't really understand how to flesh out emotionally the characters, the dialogue and the basic interplay of characters. He's good at that, but at the same time, he doesn't really get deep into their psyche as another director might. Now, I like Mark Webb. I saw 500 Days of Summer. It was a great film. The problem I had with 500 Days of Summer coming out of it, and I did like it, but you never met the parents of the characters in the story, you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel's parents. You don't really get to find out their family life, which would have explained a bit of why they act the way they act. And I thought that was because Mark Webb, maybe, you know, he's young, he's not that mature of a director, he doesn't really understand the family relationships and all that sort of thing, and that's fine, if that's the sort of filmmaker you are. But I wanted, you know, when I went to see Spider-Man, I wanted him to have grown a little bit. And I mean, he has matured maybe a little as a filmmaker, but not much. And I really don't think he's ready for a big franchise like this. Because when you've got Sally Fields playing the maternal matriarch of the family, I mean, Sally Fields, one of the greatest actors of her or any other generation. And when you've got her in the film and you're squandering her, that's a bit of a misstep, I gotta say. It's just about the worst thing you can do in film. If you've got her in the thing, you got to use her, and he really doesn't use her particularly well. I mean, she's not in it all that much. I was a bit reticent to even, you know, go to this thing. I mean, they're rebooting it so quickly that it's like the old series hasn't even had a time to sort of find its place in the popular culture. And it was a great series. Sam Raimi did wonderful things. I love that series. It was, you know, action-packed adventure sort of thing that you wouldn't think necessarily Sam Raimi would be that geared up to do, but he did that blockbuster thing real well, absolutely solid, and it was funny as well. I might get round to reviewing some of those movies eventually, but, you know, for now, I'll just tell you I loved them. So I was a bit sort of miffed, I think it's fair to say, that the studio decided to reboot it so quickly after the other series had been completed. I mean, it's a bit insulting to what Sam Raimi did. I mean, it's just disappointing. At the end of the day, they decided to reboot the franchise so quickly with such a sort of a half-baked Spider-Man ready to go in the hip pocket. I mean, you'd think if they were willing to relaunch the series so quickly, then they would obviously have something really, really good to sort of, you know, set off their new franchise. Like, they couldn't wait to get it out, but it just ended up being a sort of a mediocre Spider-Man. Not as good as the Spider-Man that came before it. So it's really sort of disappointing for me. It takes a bit of a while to get the momentum going, but, you know, once it does, it goes along at a fairly good pace. The action is not as good as the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man series. The plot is not as good as the Spider-Man Sam Raimi did. quite frankly, Andrew Garfield's not as good as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, so I'll show you a bit of what I mean. Let's just take a look at the, a little bit of a clip here. What?
There's no clip.
What do you mean there's no clip?
We couldn't get one.
What do you mean we couldn't get a clip?
The studio wouldn't give us a clip.
They wouldn't give us a clip.
They would not give us a clip.
We're doing them a favour here. We're reviewing their movie. We're doing publicity for them, and they won't even give us a clip.
I know.
What am I supposed to do? I'm sitting here looking like an idiot, saying we got a clip, and we don't. Why didn't you tell me this before the show?
Because you told me not to interrupt you when you're meditating.
Oh, you're a bleeding idiot, you are.
Oh yeah, this is my fault.
All right. Like, forget it. I know it's not your fault. Sorry, I'm upset. I'm in the middle of taping here. I guess we can edit this out or something. No, let's just leave it in. Bloody Columbia. They don't know what they're doing. I'll tell you, they reboot the franchise this early and they don't give me a clip. That's 2 strikes. One more and they're out. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, end of the day, I think I'm going to have to give this one, maybe like a C-. You know, I give it a D, but, you know, I give it the C- just for Dennis Leary and Sally Fields and Martin Sheen. I mean, they're good. They don't really have a lot to do, but they're good. I'm sure if you like Andrew Garfield or Emma Stone, you'll love it. It's not as good as it could be, so it's a bit disappointing. Yeah, so that's it from me this week. Just remember, if you make this the next movie you go see, remember to bring a brownie. I can't believe they didn't give us a clip. I mean, it's just unprofessional, you know? Won't give me a bloody clip. I'll show them a clip.